What's up, Onewheel fam? Today I'm going to go over installing fangs, which are fairly easy, a lot of people have, and also the Ranger kit from Landsurf. Matt Hoover was nice enough to get this over to me. This is going to be going on my plus board, my backup board, also what Devin loves to ride. And now that she's getting more into trails and longer distance rides, I want to give this thing a little bit more range. And the Ranger kit, after a little bit of research, is the perfect solution to it. She's not doing fin jumps or anything, so putting a little battery here won't affect a thing. I haven't really pre-read any of the directions or anything like that at all. So this is going to be just from a novice perspective of let's see what the directions say and how the install goes. I did get the required tools. It was a 332 Allen key, a power drill, 316 or a 5mm drill bit, and a small Phillips head screwdriver. Printed out on the directions. He also has these on his website for anybody doing it. Tons of warnings. Read through those yourself. I'm not going to waste time with it. And on to step one. Alright, choose a position for your Ranger. Start with the fender on the board, put the largest ego battery that you tend to use on the Ranger mount, and find a position that works for you. Have it close to the rear foot pad, but do not mount it where it sits on the rear foot pad. Also make sure to center the ego battery, not the mount, between the left and right sides. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, take the Ranger mod that he printed, cap off of it, and I'm going to slide it on. I went with a, how big is this one again? I think it's the 5 amp Ranger. This will kind of double-ish my plus range, so that, or double to triple, so that will make it about an XR. That looks like it just slides in there. Cool. Nice snug fit. Connections in. Perfect. Now I see what he means about don't center just the Ranger piece, because your battery is going to be bigger than just the Ranger. So you want to center this up based on how your battery looks on it. And that seems like you want it a little bit to the left with these batteries, so it won't be sitting on. And this is going on a Craft and Ride carbon fender. Alright. Then mark the chosen position of the mountain fender using pen or tape. Cool, let me get a little bit of tape and mark this bad boy up. What I'm going to do is I can get a pretty clear grasp of where this top is going to be, so I'm going to put a piece of tape there. And this will hold it right off the pad a little bit, so I'm going to raise it up just about a centimeter. There we go. So while this mounts on that, I know that's sitting off the back pad, lower center of gravity, easy on and off. And now I'm going to put another piece of tape on this right side to make a right angle of where this mount should land too. So when I take the battery off, I'll have a perfect position of it. Cool. Just straighten this up a little bit. So for you guys to see what I've done, I've put a black piece of tape. Well, it's probably hard to see black on black, but a tape here and tape here. So I know to take the edge of the Ranger mount and put it in that corner. And that's going to show me exactly where I need to drill in at. That shoots out. All right. Good thing these are built sturdy. Cool. So basically where we're at now is with that tape, this is going to want to sit right in there for me, and that gives me the perfect zero gravity spot for where I want this thing to land. Anyone who's installed flight fins in the past is probably familiar with this process. Nothing new here, of just drilling the holes in your fender for flight fins. So what I'm going to do for this now is take a little screwdriver. Yeah, that'll mark it up. Alright, there's several different ways. You could take like a paint pen or a Sharpie and put where the holes are going to be in here, but I'm going to go with the classic way and just add some extra tape and then put a screwdriver through the holes. And this is going to show me right where I want to drill through. So line it up to my corners again. And with it lined up there, I'm just going to dig this screwdriver into the hole. Yeah, perfect. Now I can see it. Let me get a paint pen. Make it a little bit easier. So basically what I did was, with that screwdriver, I see on my tape the 4 places I want to drill my holes in for this. And this is whatever one he told me to buy. Yeah, 5mm drill bit. Let me just double check before I do some irreversible damage. There we go. Alright, now with all this, you can take your tape off. Fun, you can see my old flight fin holes and now my new Ranger holes. I guess I don't need to put that on there yet. Cool, everything's lined up and some. And here's the little piece that he gave. And, oh, that's cool. 2 plug covers from him, too, included in the kit. Badass. Didn't even know that was there. Don't mind if I throw one on. Cool, this looks pretty straightforward. I don't expect any surprises here. I'm going to widen these holes out just a tad. The screws are biting going through it. I just want them to be able to go through a little bit more freely. This was not on his instructions. I just don't want it be like super tight going through there. I want the screws going easy. I'm okay if it's a little bit bigger. Perfect. And I'm not gonna like over tighten any of these right now. I just want to get them all the screws in the holes and get some grip on the back. Alright, now I'm gonna go back and kind of tighten all these a little bit more. I can tell that's on there good. You just don't want any of these coming out over time. Cool. That's set. Now let me try sliding this bad boy on. Perfect. All right, now for some fun, removing the battery box. I've done this a few times now, so let's just get into it. All right, so got my handy dandy ice tray. I'm gonna put my screws in order as I take them out. So float plates, since these are the first screws I'm taking out, are gonna be number 1 here. Cool. Step 1, plates off. Let's set them off to the side. Since these are pluses, don't forget you have your extra set of screws holding over your compartment cover here. So this is going to be my slot 2. Notice my nice warranty void XR screws in here. All right, to make things easier, at this point, I'm gonna just take off the wheel. I'm not sure if he has that in his instructions or not. I think he has me leaving it on actually and just removing this side. So let's go with that approach. So the one thing I'm gonna have to do is take my smaller screwdriver and make sure, guys, always remove this little plate right here before trying to pull out anything. Robert Allen had a case of some guy badgering his board and just yanking, trying to get his tire out with this piece in that I'm about to show you, and totally ruined his cable, everything. It was nuts. Remove this piece, save yourself. Put that in slot 3. There are 2 port covers here too, so I'm gonna take the screwdriver, remove these little like cable guards here. Shout out to Jeff for having holes for these in his new rail guards now, so makes it easy, don't have to remove anything. Alright. I'm sure I might end up taking off the wheel here. You probably don't have to, but yeah, taking these bad guys off. Let's see what type of room I get after pulling this piece out. And what I've noticed is if some of these plugs get stuck for you, like this one, my method is with the gut, I like to grab it here and then pull it against me, so that way it has something to kind of pull into, and it helps get me a little bit extra force. Yeah, this is on there pretty good. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna remove the top foot pad so I can get a better grip on it. This wasn't in his directions, but I think it's gonna help me out. Cool. Foot pads down. Fuckers in there good. All right. Another tip I've heard that I'll test out now is to get something with a little bit of pressure and put down on this tab and pull. I'm gonna remove the other tire cable. Now I can get my whole hand in here. Fuck. I'm gonna get a flathead to help kind of loosen this bad boy up. Again, this is not on the recommended directions, but I'll do anything right now to help get this thing out. There we go. Cool, so that helps. So what I did is I took a flathead and I just wedged it right in between here to help loosen it off that clip. So now this cable is free. Alright, and what screws do I have left on here? Alright, so I gotta take my bumper off on this side, so this will be slot 4. And take off the nice pretty one tail extreme. Shout out Craft and Ride for getting this over to me nice and prompt when it came out. And I really do love all the tails out there. I constantly rotate them. Oh, those are some really mismatched screws. Alright, yeah, you don't want to be doing what I did there. Alright, tails off. Cool. What's next is bumper screws. So a lot of people forget about these and pull on the bumper and break a tab because they don't realize they got these little guys in there still. Remember when plus bumpers were all this small? Oh yeah, look at that. This thing's definitely seen some better days. Alright, and if I did everything correctly, I should be good to go here. I'm getting a good grip on it here. The power of the thumbs. I just want to make sure to not snag this cable on anything, that this comes out freely. All right, and now I can just pull out. Cool, battery box. Probably could use some badgering. Haven't really badgered this bad boy yet. I did it to my XR, but that's another video and another day. Now let's get into the juicy stuff. Remove all the screws around the perimeter of the bottom of the battery box. They're both Phillips head and 3x32 hex screws. They unscrew further than you think. Alright, time for some fun. Where did my mini screwdriver go? Cool, I'm going to start with the Phillips one. Just get these bad boys over with. Alright, so 332. That will be this bad guy. Yep. And it looks like there's a lot of these. There was only 1, 2, 3, 5 Allens. And for the record, this is actually the first time I have opened up the battery. I've badgered an XR before. I've done several tire changes, so that was all like easy for me up to this point. This is new territory, and he's not kidding. These screws are longer than you think. All right. Dun dun dun. All right. Looks like it's done its job for the most part. I don't really see any shit in here. Cool. So this is what it looks like on the inside. Take a minute to pull the silicone cap over the... Does this stuff seal back? It looks like it's just tape. Cool. I'm going to just gently pull this tape back. Hopefully it comes just as gently. Alright, take a minute to put on the silicone cap over the XT. Hold on. On here, there's little cap holders in here. So we're going to come into here, take one, put it on this plug, and then unplug the EC3 connector. So this is the EC3 connector. The two long wires are running along the back edge go to the battery the other direction. The wires go to the BMS. Got it. We're going to splice our wire here. Use the included wire harness as shown. Alright guys, so I misplaced my cable. Found it. Never throw out all your packaging. With this step, we've unplugged the EC3 connector. Now this is a splitter to have the Ranger battery run parallel, I believe, through it. So just following the directions here. Doesn't look like you can really fuck this up. This just plugs in. Oh, almost fucked it up. Boom. And boom. Yeah, it only goes one way into it all. Just pay attention. You'll be fine. Circle into circle. Odd shape into odd shape. Alright, so the next step here is we're going to gently remove the battery pack from the box. Don't remove anything. Cool. And we run these wires down along the edge. So we kind of just want to fit these in along the foam, it looks like. Yep. We're going to cut a hole for it to come out, or drill a hole for it to come out right there. Very cool. Alright, I get what we're doing here. Let's say in with the excess here to try to fit it however you can. Down the battery box. Looks pretty solid. Alright. Time for some scary / expensive drilling. So they want us to drill a hole for this cable to come out of. This is gonna be a little scary, but nothing we can't handle. It's saying it's supposed to be 10 millimeters from the edge of the battery tray and the same distance from the right edge. Alright, so let me get a measuring tape real quick to try to make sure we're doing this right. Cool. And you want to drill the hole. Basically what you're trying to do is drill the hole perfectly, where you can just take a little saw and cut the rest out. So you have a nice clean fit for this to come out of here. Just to be safe and to make sure I don't puncture a battery, I'm going to actually lift my battery out. It looks pretty damn good. All right. I did get a little hacksaw. I'm just gonna cut straight down through this, make it nice and clean. Perfect. Alright, so the battery's supposed to run next to and under the battery pack on this side. So let's get everything put back into place in here. Let's get that foam up. Actually, let me get the battery fully back in first. Alright, so that's a happy battery right there. I'm gonna lift the battery back up and kind of work on shimmying this against the foam and out to the side. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Right now I'm just trying to make sure everything sits flush in there a little bit. I don't want anything giving like an upward pressure, creating a gap. Alright, so we need to basically start working on a watertight seal where we made this opening. Alright, hot glue gun is ready. We can get some excess off here. I'm going to just drip it down both sides on the inside. A little on top. I'm going to do the same for the outside here. I'm just using this for like my main quick seal. I'm going to hit it with some flowable silicone from the Badger kit next. And let that dry. This is just to kind of hold it in place and prevent like any major tugging that would damage it. Now that the hot glue is dried, I'm going to run some flowable silicone over it and give it about 30 minutes to really seal and waterproof that in there. As you can see, that's pretty damn good in there. I'm going to let that sit vertical and settle for about 30 minutes to harden up, and I'll check back in with you. Oh, nice. Some little extra gravel. I hot glued it now. I did a lot of flowable silicone on it. Maybe a little too much, people may say, but looks pretty solid to me inside and out. I don't think anything's going to be getting through there. Again, I haven't badgered this board yet, so I'm not too crazy. I just don't want extra shit to come through here. It looks pretty solid. Let's see what the directions say next. Cool. Basically it's saying we're done, just time to do the reinstall. So let's hope I got everything to fit. I mean, I've tucked this back in. I think the hardest part of this whole install is getting these wires in here. Being careful not to fuck anything up too bad and like tucking it because it's a very tight fit now. But yeah, let's see how this goes back on. Oh yeah, with screws I don't think we're gonna have an issue at all. So the 332. Let's start putting all these fucking screws back into place. And since I have this up already, I'm going to take a little extra flowable silicone and hit all the problem areas that I know from badgering in the past. Alright, I'm going to let this sit. It's going to flow a little bit. I kind of did a little too much too fast, but I put just a thin layer and let that go. My flowable silicone's basically dry everywhere. Yeah, it's dry enough. A little bit of sealing left. I was a little sloppy with it, but it's fine. Done this before. That doesn't really affect anything. I just need to be able to slide it back in. And we're looking pretty good all around. Alright, so the last step of the instructions is literally just to put it all back together. That should be easy enough. I did add some extra silicone into areas, so that might cause a little bit of problem, but I don't foresee it being too bad of an issue. Seeing a little bit of a reminder of who's boss. Almost there. And actually, before I push everything fully in, I'm going to just reconnect what's on this side now that I have a little extra room for it. Cool. I just need a last little bit here. There we go. Boom. Back in place. Alright, next step is bumper. Yeah, bumper. Flip this on the side, make things a little bit easier for me. Let's see what's going on. Cool. And then you're just going to basically work yourself backwards through your tray in case you kind of forgot a step, and all your screws will match up. Always fun guessing game putting this board back together. These are my original plus rails, so they've seen a lot. Boom. And I'm not going to put anything on the front bumper because we're about to do fangs. So to attach this front bumper on, normally you have 2 screws up front, but I do have a new pair of the Fangs Minis. These things are great, easy to install. They come with instructions right inside the box. Basically, you just put the 2 bearings and washer in, screw right through, and it's Simple. You can take them on and off. You don't have to fully break them back down. Switch them in between boards. This is going to be my first board with them, so we're going to be doing a lot of tests. Between all the fein drag videos and everything else I've been seeing, I'm excited to play around with them. It is a separate size Allen key we typically don't use, but it's included in the box. And let me see if he says what type it is. 4mm. So that will be on this set. I got my, oh, this one goes up to 3.5. Never mind, I might need to, oh, 3.5, got it. Cool. I know I have it somewhere on my table. I'm probably gonna have to switch to it. Yeah, I need to find my 4 now. No, I got one laying around here somewhere. Yep. You're going to want to hold your front pad up for the screw to catch, and there we go. And you don't want to like crazy over tighten, because those are just some like crappy inserts FM has on the front pad. If your screw's not going all the way in, you've probably already messed up an insert. What I've done is I've gotten some like Loctite super glue or things like that, dripped it around the wood and the brass and let it heal, and that generally gives you enough grip for them to stay in. But yeah, things literally do go in that quick, and that's going to hold my front foot pad on there. Before I put the bumpers back on, I'm going to give it a quick test to make sure the install worked and the board power is back up. Got back tail lights on. That's always a good sign. All right. And we're riding. My front headlights were always out. So cool. Yeah, that install worked. I'm gonna put on the fender and the Ranger battery, and we are good to go. We got my cord hanging out perfectly there. This looks fucking great. I think we did a successful install. Let me go down my tray of all the extra stuff that's needed. I'm gonna put these wires back in, and then of course don't forget this piece. Video. And for the finale, boom. That's looking great. I do have the Send system on there right now. I misplaced a few of the top washers for it, so I'm just using some wing nuts now to hold this down, but that's going to still work great on there. The fender is not going anywhere. We are safe to put on the battery. Yeah, it looks like it's on. I've never put one of these fully on before, so feel. Oh no! Now that feels like it's on. Cool. I assume these bad boys line up here for a nice little match made in heaven. And there you have it. Onewheel Ranger mod. I never read if it needs to turn one on first. Cool, and that's out of the way of the tire. Got my things on the front. This board's ready to rock. I'm gonna power up first, lights on, Ego battery, and let me just make sure this thing still powers up. Cool.
Left at the mall 'cause your mama forgot. I know it hurts. Bullied by the cool kids on the first day of school. I know it hurts so bad. Let it go, let it go. You'll be better off without our breaks. We don't care if you know, we will never let you go. Can't take any more, I'm under control. We will fight all the time, we'll punch you if you're feeling fine. Yeah, it will go on as long as you want. Laughed at when your girlfriend pulled down your pants. I know it hurts. Kicked out on the first day of your new job. I know it hurts so bad. Let it go, let it go. You'll be better off without our breaks. Let it go, let it go. You'll be better off without our breaks. We don't care if you know, we will never let you go. Can't take any more, I'm under control. We will fight all the time, we'll punch you if you're feeling fine. It will go on as long as they want. We don't care if you know, we will never let you go. Can't take any more, I'm under control.